Hey everyone, welcome to Seawater and Podcast. And for today's episode, I have a special guest, a special guest. And he's going to talk to us about his story, his journey, and how he feels about entrepreneurship, why it's important. So today, you guys are going to hear directly from him. Welcome, Mr. Marvin.
Oh, thank you. Nice to be here.
Can you tell people who is Marvin?
Marvin's is it's a lot of things. It's not just one. I wish I could just give you something that could simplify that, but Marvin is something that it actually didn't. That name was always my quote unquote government name, but I didn't start going by Marvin until I was like in my late 20s. When I grew up, my name was Tyrone, which is my middle name. Marvin is my first name.
Wow.
I think that my uncle was in the Navy and whatever. And my mom was pregnant with me. He was like, but name him Tyrone though. Name him for whatever that was. They ran with it. And it's interesting that my dad's name was Marvin as well. But yeah, Tyrone took a whole life of its own. Rebellious,
Wow.
very, free in a lot of ways that didn't always work out for him. But Marvin is a more, a person that looked at life lessons and sort of not so much learned from the lessons, but sort of put life in a way of more that I guess I have more control than life does, and that's what started that path of what people know me now on social media, which is Meta Marvin.
Okay.
So there's some steps. But the ending step is Meta Marvin, where I'm at now.
Okay.
So those are the different things, but that's the most part. But Marvin is a serial entrepreneur, own several businesses. I'm a part of a private equity group that's just out now. I think they just announced that about to go IPO. I have a nonprofit called Wisdom Foundation. I teach financial literacy, spiritual economics, and just, using who I am and my resources to be advantage to the youth, whether it be mentorship, again, financial literacy, and then showing them about life, walking into, making sure that you're living on purpose, more so than running after money and a paycheck. So that's sort of where I'm at right now. But I hope that answers your question for the most part.
That was a great answer. That hit a lot of areas.
Yeah.
Can you tell me what's important about financial literacy and spiritual economics? How does it connect to how we operate?
Yeah. I want to put it out there. A lot of this is coming from, like I said, my space, because this is the space that helped me get to where I'm at. So a lot of people are in different spaces, and I respect that. But for me, if I can get people to agree that we're spirit having a human experience, most people would say yes, right?
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
I agree.
Most people would agree with that.
I agree.
So if we're having a spiritual experience first, why are we letting anything mortal or man have control over this experience? So if you wake up and you're cognitive of that every day, you really don't look at, what's happening, what's happening to you. You're looking at what's happening for you. And so you're releasing something, you're becoming something all the time, whether you know it or not. We just talked about, whether it be, lessons or whatever the case may be. But living your truth is knowing that you having a spiritual experience, and you have the ability to look at finances and look at the economics and look at the news and say, that's what that is, but that's not who I am. And so a lot of people are getting in these self-made prisons because they're locked in based on an old story, whether it be some conversations with your parents. It might have been some conversations you had in high school. It might be with your peer group now. But when you understand who you are, one, that's going to be a level of separation because you probably won't be around the same people when it comes to this type of conversation. But when it comes to finances, I have something that I always put out there to my mentees, and I say, don't chase the money, because you are the money. How are you gonna chase yourself? What do you mean, Marvin? And I'm like, well, money is my own natural energy, because we are energy. Yield is what I put out there. It's what I say. It's what I see. So when you put yourself, and it's all about you, you're the money. But when you look at this green stuff, the money, the cash, it's always going to be something that you feel that you're chasing, or you have to go get, or you feel that you got to do a whole lot to go do it, or people being manipulative, or people being more overly aggressive, or people going out and really, when they do get the green stuff, that now that's a signature of saying, this is who I am, because I'm a millionaire. That's still man-made. You know what I'm saying? Because I know, I've been around them, I'm a part of that industry. There's a lot of millionaires it's the worst time of their lives. You know what I'm saying? So again, going back, spiritual, I think that the mastery comes with being able to, and I'm putting a book out here in the next, probably hopefully within the next year, of knowing how to move without money. Because once we get that, I feel like that's the mastery of women and men. One, you're gonna get the right people in place, the right people, places, and things that's gonna show up. But it's not only gonna show up, it's gonna show up for your beckoning call. Because you're living on purpose.
Right.
Spirituality first. But see, once until you get into that gear, that shift, the car ain't really, you think you're moving, but you ain't moving.
I think it's really important.
So it's really important, and so that's it's a little bit in my world. I'm a little, this whole on the spiritual path, but that's what a lot of times now people see me doing. All kinds of stuff. Marvin, you're doing the Battle of the Bands in Charlotte and all over the country. You're the National Economic Director over all the HBCUs. You own a fintech bank. You do this and you do this, and accolades, and you're doing this business of basketball. You're doing this and you got this and that. And they're like, well, how do you do all that? I said, well, it's not that I'm doing it. It's me. You know what I'm saying? It's I'm it's not considered work. Like I told you, I called an Uber here, not just because I have, I'm not trying to be egoic, but I have pretty much anything a person could want. But I was still humble enough that I said that I was going to come here and I'm going to be on your podcast, and I was a man of my word. You know what I'm saying? It comes with integrity. It comes with a certain mindset that it ain't about who's up here and who's down there. It's about who you are. And that's what keeps your blessings. That's what keeps your flow. That's what keeps you in the rhythm of what's supposed to be happening in your world, until we start realizing that this financial thing, especially what's going on right now and these distractions that's going on TV, it's easy to judge, right? But once you judge, then it's something that's inside of you that's saying, well, this person is wrong, or they're that, or they're a bad person. Well, that might be true, but at the end of the day, to keep your feel right, um, like the elders would say, pray for them.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? I'll say that in that way if you can really get where I'm coming from.
Yeah, I do.
And you really have to have a level of, like they said in the Bible, that 7 times. You have to have that level of forgiveness, because it's not them. You've got to free yourself up. You know what I'm saying? Because when you're aggravated or regretful or mad or envious, that's something within you that you're holding. These people done went on with their life. Now you stuck. And now every time you see anybody that can echo or be a reflection of who that would be, you don't want to touch them. But you might be missing blessings because you hadn't forgiven that person years ago or whatever. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of that comes with a mindset when it comes around the money and it comes around the finances and business. And another thing is what I do is I wake up every day and I always have some sense of a journal. Now my desk looks it looks crazy. It's like it's nothing organized. But in my mind, I always, at least once or maybe sometime even 3 times a week, I'm on a tangent sometimes, I'm always making a phone call that other people would be like, Marvin, you're crazy. I was having a conversation with a gentleman this morning, real quick, and I want to put that out. I was working at the Veterans Hospital. I'm a Desert Storm veteran, guys. I'm a 100% disabled veteran. I don't claim the disability, but
that's right.
but hey, I'll get the, I'll take that. I told him while I was working at the Veterans Hospital. Now, this was before I even got into my entrepreneurship. And I was just I've always been so tenacious about why not. So I was doing an email, just doing something I shouldn't have been doing while I was at work on the emails, playing around. And I wound up getting in an email chain with the guy that owns and runs the Forbes list. I forgot his first name, but Mr. Forbes. So I'm sitting here and I'm having an email conversation with Mr. Forbes. And, of course, it sort of, disconnected politely, like, hey, Marvin, I'm busy, and great that, that we're having this conversation, but, maybe we can connect at another time. And I'm saying to myself, it's nothing I could even talk to him about, but I'm talking to him, right?
Right.
And so ever since then, and I think that was like 2007, 8, I've always had something inside of me, man, listen, every day that you wake up, always take yourself into a type of opportunity that you would not really, that you're not cognitive of, but take yourself out of a comfort zone. Get out of your comfort zone. Make a call that would probably blow your mind, or do something that you would never think or see yourself doing. But you will be amazed that when you do stuff like that, what comes back. And so and so that's when it is some of my things when it comes to business, and people wonder how I get myself in certain situations. It's because I just look at life differently, and I just I'm not this meat suit. You know what I'm saying? And you're not either. And so when you look at that, you're not judging, and you don't put people up there, and you don't put people down there either. And it gets you, it's like water. It gets you to places that you never think you would be. So that's the Meta Marvin recipe.
All right. You know what? I really like that. I think he covered a lot of things. And I know maybe some people are wondering, well, how does this relate to entrepreneurship and wealth building? Well, you guys, he's talking about the characteristics that you have to embody before anything comes to you. He's talking about walking in purpose. This is not just a get money, get rich quick scheme. This is how can I build wealth and sustain it as well. So you have to embody the mindset of somebody who's wealthy before you even see it. And that's where I am right now. I'm in this middle ground. If somebody's there, I can relate to you. If you feel like you're in between the person that you were in the past and the person that you're wanting to become, there's a middle ground that a lot of people don't talk about, and it's really hard to be there. But these are the things that you need to go through. These are the things, this process is needed.
Yeah.
Can you talk about maybe the time where you had like an internal awakening that you felt like maybe something needs to change?
Yeah. You know, it just, when I had a couple aha moments, I would probably say that my aha moment probably was when I knew something had to change, was when I was working at the Veterans Hospital, and I was giving a book, and the book was by James Allen. Go check it out. It's called As a Man Thinketh in His Heart, So Is He. But it's called As a Man Thinketh.
I like that. I like that.
And, you know, sort of out of the Bible, but it's a little green book. Check it. It's called James
like
Allen, and it totally changed my mind. And why I read that book, I was working as a ward clerk. You know, it was like I was a secretary in the Navy, by the way. So I would work for captains, and so when I got out, I was working as a ward clerk at the VA. So anyway, you know, during the time I had, you know, I would read it. It's a lady, I forgot her name. I want to give her a shout out, but I told her she changed my life. But she was like, I'm reading this book, and you want to, and for whatever she gave it to me, I'm like, why would she want to, you know? But anyway, I was like, yeah, sure, I'll check it out. And when I read that book, it changed my mind, because it changed my whole paradigm of who I was. Because as a man thinketh in his heart, so is he.
It's real.
And so, you know, what that did, it interchangeably, it was an aha moment. And then I think within that next 5 to 6 months, my first business endeavor was called Wilson's Secret Travels. It's actually on YouTube. If you look at Wilson's Secret Travels, only one of them probably up there. It's probably like 10, 12 years ago. I was working at the VA, I had also had, at that time, Obama was getting elected for president. So I had started I called it at that time. You know, when we were young, our mind is think it was basically a celebrity travel agency.
Okay.
So I wasn't a travel agent, but I had 1099 a travel agent. Now this is why I was working. This is why I'm working at the desk. I had created a company, had a travel agent, and I had like 11 or I did 12 buses, and took 12 buses up to see President Obama, the inauguration, you know, like when he got, you know, took everybody up to DC. So, but with that book, it sort of changed the dynamics of, you know, how I looked at myself. You know what I'm saying? Because see, when I was into that 9 to 5, and again, I want to always put this out as a precursor, guys. Anybody out there that's working a 9 to 5 I grew up with people working hard. I come from that, but it's just for me, when I say it's not about the money, I'm talking about freedom. You know what I'm saying? So nothing against a 9 to 5, but it changed me to say, I'm never gonna let nobody tell me how much money I'm gonna make every week. How can you tell me that? You can't tell me that, right? You know what I'm saying? So if y'all really want to look at that tightness in me, you know, I'm talking smooth and I'm talking very polite and I'm soft, but it's something that's in me that nobody can tell me that I'm going to make a certain amount of money every week. And it's nothing against that person, but it's just me, how I value myself, my time. You know what I'm saying? As a man thinketh, right? If you go there and you start thinking about that, really what that looks like, then you will start getting around people that, and it's not going to change. We talked about it's not going to change overnight. So that aha moment is going to come to you guys really when you start looking at yourself differently, when you're willing to separate yourself, when you're willing to understand that I have to do something different in order to get something different. And it's a mindset. And so when that happened and I wound up doing that, that's when I wound up owning my own ticketing company here in Charlotte. I was the official ticketing company for the CIAA, which we did, I think the city made close to $75 million in 3 days. They have never seen black wealth like that ever in Charlotte.
Wow.
You know, based on certain politics.
And
We lost
congratulations
that.
to you as well.
Yeah. But and so now when people hiring me and bringing me on their board saying, "Oh, Marvin, he's the national economic," well, it's not that I'm just finesse myself into positions like that, because when you see from an idea that you put together that a city, not a person, a whole city, when I say city, hotels make money, restaurants make money, clubs make money. When you bring an event that everybody in the city makes money, then who wouldn't want to partner with you, right?
I hear you.
You see what I'm saying? So that's how things go, guys. But what I'm trying to tell you is I can sit up here all day. I have companies, and people consult me for 4 or 5, you know, a lot of money. Marvin, what should I do with this business? Should I get an LLC? Should I do this? Should I put it in a trust? So I can get into all that. But right now, what I'm trying to get you guys to get the most out of this interview is to start reading and learning more about yourself. Everything else will happen. I'm telling you. I know it sounds like this has nothing to do with finance.
It sounds like it doesn't connect. And especially for people my age.
Yeah.
If you guys are watching this, because I'm 23 years old, I
Yeah.
know that it probably does not make sense. I get it.
Yeah.
I was at a point where I'm like, it doesn't make sense.
Mm-hmm.
But now I understand.
Yeah.
I understand, because you can make money all day long. You can hit the lottery. But if you don't know how to, how are you going to sustain it? How can you turn it into something if you have no other knowledge but I want this money?
Yeah.
And so it's really not about loving money. It's about loving people, having a heart to serve. I mean, even if you have a business, there's no way you can fail if your heart is to serve people.
Mm-hmm. That's right. That's exactly right. That's good. And people will pick up on it. And I'm telling you, people will show up. Blessings will show up. And blessings meaning, like, again, people, places, and things. That's what I call, that's God. And so and when you're aligned to that, guys, people with like myself, first thing I do when I sit at the table and I'm in a business meeting, I listen to what's being said, and then sometimes I take myself out of the end result of what the meeting's supposed to be, and then I start looking at what they call egos, edging God out, right? So people, oh, I'm this and I'm that, and okay, great. But when it comes down to who's going to write the check, right? You know what I'm saying? And then it gets to, now it feels like, and I'm not saying this is everybody, but there's more people trying to sell themselves. Mm-hmm. But when you don't have to say anything and it's just there, because I'm not there to sell myself, because I'm there because I'm supposed to be there, right? Mm-hmm. So I'm not trying to sell anything. I know that what we're come together for, the tables that I like to be at is bigger than me and you. You know what I'm saying? It's not about me. I'm not going to sit at the table like, oh, okay, look, I need you to help me make some money. How can we go out and help people, right? Mm-hmm. And then that's when
everything else just comes.
It comes. It's simple, but people are just, the social media and got people screwed up with that, and it's a me, me, and that ain't. You can live that way, but tell me how far that gets you.
That's a great question. You don't have to answer it, by the way.
I can answer it for you, but go ahead. Yeah.
But as we come to an end of this interview, you definitely dropped a lot of gems. I hope people can really sit down, and I hope this makes somebody think the way it made me think. So I thank you for being here today, because you didn't have to do so. Yeah. Thank you for blessing everybody and me as well.
Oh yes.
But where can people connect with you? Where can they find you? How can they support you?
Oh yeah, absolutely, definitely. You want to go to? I have a couple events coming on in the city. Wisdom Foundation. I'm doing a basketball event. Pouring into a lot of the kids that's here that wants to take whatever they want to do. It's around the basketball means because it's doing ACC. But go to, if you want to volunteer and get connected and look for mentorship, Wisdom Foundation, wisdom-foundation.com, or we're on Instagram as Wisdom Foundation CLT. If people have an LLC, they have a startup, or you have even a seasoned business and you're trying to figure out how can I scale my business, or how can I be able to get some type of means of money, or how the banks are looking at me. Am I fundable? Go to areyoufundable.com .org, or go to Are You Fundable on Instagram. That's that consulting piece that I told you. I help business get money. And Meta Marvin is where it's all at. You're going to see all kinds of stuff on there, because I'm letting people know I'm doing everything. I'm having fun with my life. But that's Meta Marvin 72 on Instagram. You'll see a lot of different collective things on there. But yeah, I'm always looking for people that I can mentor, or, if you want to get engaged. But those are the main handles. Yeah, Wisdom Foundation CLT Instagram. That's on LinkedIn and all that stuff. So you should be able to find me there. Yeah.
Okay. Can you, before we close, can you speak to a person that's maybe, feeling some type of discouragement? Maybe they're in the middle where they're like, it's too late. I should have done it back then. I haven't started it, but this is what I'm going to have to do for the rest of my life. It's too late for me to start.
Mm-hmm.
Can you speak to that person that feel like they missed that mark?
Yeah, I mean, I've been there. I think that when you feel that you missed something, it's because something didn't happen the way you thought it was going to happen. And I'm a principles guy. Sometimes it sounds like I'm saying things very repetitive, but at the end of the day, you're never behind. You're right where you want to be. And you got to understand is that I would say, and just as an old school piece, if you can find some type of gratitude journal, anything that's keep you in gratitude, it will eat at that. It will work for you, because there's a lot of things out there that you got to be grateful for. I don't care what you got, what you ain't got, but there's a lot of people out there that's way worse than you are. Gratitude is one. Secondly is that don't ever play victim. You know what I'm saying?
I like that.
You know what I'm saying? Don't play victim, because I don't. You come to me right now and you say, "Hey, Marvin, guess what? I'm dealing with this dude. I was dealing with this girl, and she drugged me. And I'm gonna say, okay, then, what did you learn from that? Now, all that what you done went through, you might have been talking about 2 or 3 years of whoever that was with, but what you learned from it. That's all people. People that's mature and want to come in as via people that's coming in your life to help, or to get you or help you or sort of mentor you. That's all it is. That's why you have to be very cognitive of the people, places, and things the people that's around you, because it's shaping you. So you have to really be mindful of where you at, what did you learn from it, and try to get out of it as quick as possible. I keep going back to reading certain things, and really understand that life is for you. Nothing is against you. But if you look at it that way, it will be against you. And all those faculties, guys, that God gave us, God gave us imagination, and we're in the self-image and likeness of God. Again, go back to the beginning story of that whole spiritual thing. You have imagination, you have desire, determination, you have all these invisible traits that's inside of you, and we just throw it around. Oh, I got determined, I have this. So what is that though, right? So that shows us that, that anything that comes our way, we created it, but we can also dissolve it, right? You know what I'm saying? A lot of people don't feel like they have that type of power. You created that issue. I know you might want to put it on the devil. You might want to say, oh, this. But I'm going to tell you something. You have so much that's going on inside of you. And I don't want to get deep into that you're really the producer of your own life. Not saying that God has not. Now, I'm not admitting. I believe in God. Always, believe me. Don't get me. I believe in God, but I believe God in me. You know what I'm saying? And that's what separates me from a lot of people. But I know that when they said the word built in the image and likeness of God, I take that literally and I use it. A lot of people don't know how to use those faculties. You know what I'm saying? If you came here for a spiritual experience and God Say, here, I'm gonna give you that. Use it. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people don't think they just, you can think anything you want. We're sitting here in this beautiful space. I'm looking at all these beautiful books. I'm looking at all these multimillionaires. Because there's a lot of people that wrote these books, but a lot of people got millions and millions and millions of copies of these books. I'm looking at these shelves. I'm looking at these doorknobs. It came from somebody. Somebody thought of that idea. So money's always around us, guys. So that's my thing. That's meta, beyond the physical, meta Marvin. I'm everywhere, but I'm always where I'm supposed to be.
Alrighty then. I like that. And we're gonna close out, y'all. Thank y'all for y'all time. Thank you for watching. You guys can follow me at my Instagram changed to my real name. Y'all, I forgot to tell y'all. My Instagram is Concena Jones, Concena, and my last name is Jones. So thank you guys for watching. And that'll be the end of this episode.